like a whirlwind kind of thing. And now like when you do the special, it doesn't do like the animated rotation as like a whirlwind. I don't know why, but at least I got that in my prior streams. It was kind of a unique animation at the time. So I guess my Xanfer has the whirlwind, you know. Not everybody else's does. My Xanfer video got like 23,000 views or something like that, which is just insane. Like, fighting the dragons, obviously I have my Bandos God Sword, my Bracelet of Ethereum charged up with Revenant Ether, which they drop or you can buy at the GE to get a little bit less damage. The Salve Amulet from the Haunted Mine quest. You mine the salve and then you use the thread or the wool, use the wool on it, and it makes a necklace. And you do additional damage, melee. They have imbued salve as well, but that's hard, it's in the Nightmare Zone. Light Bearer Ring to recharge my special attack over here a little bit faster, which I could use at 50% with the Bandos God Sword. Here are my current stats. I increased them with the Super Combat Potion. The Ring of Wealth you could teleport at level 30 Wilderness. Right now I'm in the Wilderness in the Revenant Cave. So anyone 35 levels above or below me can attack me, but at level 30 Wilderness, I could teleport back, right click, rub my Ring of Wealth, go right back to the GE. You could also teleport back with the Grand Tree Pod and run away while you get PvP'd. If I PvP anyone out in the Wilderness, I get a skull over my head, and as long as that skull's over my head, I risk all my items if I get PvP'd. Your prayer could run out, but you could restore it with Blighted Super Restores a little bit cheaper. I'm going to use my special attack, which drains the damage, drains the stats of the dragon. Drinking the Super Combat Potion, it lasts for a certain amount of time at the top left in Runelight on the Jagex launcher. RuneScape's also on mobile. This is old school RuneScape, it's on mobile, it's on Steam, and it's on the Jagex launcher. When you connect your account, you have to use Runelight and old school RuneScape in order to play. You could only eat blighted food out in the Wilderness, it's a little bit cheaper, and it does heal the same exact amount, similar to the Blighted Super Restore, which charges up your prayer. You obviously level your prayer by burning bones, and you get Piety Prayer to increase your stats and protect from melee to get less damage against the Revenant Dragons. The Piety Prayer I got from the Knight's Waves by defeating Sir Lancelot. So my bracelet ran out, so I just added more ether to my Bracelet of Ethereum. And similar to the Webweaver bow, which I showed before, it's super useful for training range in the Wilderness. You do a little bit more damage, and obviously if you had this prayer, you could do a little bit more damage. You would have to use Super Ranging Potion in order to increase your range stats, base level stats. So let me use a special attack and down this dragon maybe. Right now I'm training attack over here, okay? But you could switch combat stance to aggressive if you want to change strength. The remaining EXP is 769,000, and the attack XP remaining is 285,000. So it takes quite a bit of while to level. This is my favorite place to level. Once basically reach level 75 attack and 75 strength, I would say, and by the Elder Maul, that's when I would go to the Revenant Cave in old school RuneScape. So yeah, I mean, the dragons, they drop such great loot. It goes without saying. You could level up a lot. You could also run to the over here in the Revenant Cave all the way to the corner near the weaker enemies, the dogs, but near the Pyrofiends, and you can teleport out over there as well. Their drops are a little bit worse. It's possible for the Revenant Dragon to drop something worth like 25 million gold, or it's a little bit less now, but it's the Craws bow, C-R-A-W bow. It's the less cool version of the Webweaver. They also drop ancient totems worth 1 million gold, dragon scimitars, rune full helms, rune bars, rune ore, dragon daggers, dragon plate skirts, dragon plate legs, adamantine ore, magic logs, U logs, coal, blighted ancient sacks, food, blighted mana rays, and blighted anglerfish, death runes, blood runes. That's basically what the Revenant dragons drop. So, yeah, I mean, I accidentally clicked Discord. Trying to take a. Obviously, I never wear my armor out in the wilderness, so I'm going to take a little bit extra damage from the dragon since I don't have my bracelet on, but let me charge it up with only 2 ether, which won't last too long. And let's use another special attack. I'll definitely be able to defeat him before all my stuff runs out. He's gonna, yeah, he does 29 damage now, 15. He does way more damage with my bracelet uncharged. He also recharges his health, and while you're eating, it interrupts your attack, so you can't really attack the dragon. So, let's continue this. Like, after you eat, you have to click on him again. Obviously, you could have auto retaliate on to fight back no matter what. But eating it kind of interrupts your thing. Also, here is the uncut dragon stone. Those are worth a decent amount too, like 13k each. So, let's get out of here. Obviously, going into the obelisk, it sends you to a random spot, which is like, you could end up in level 50 wilderness, you could end up in level 19, 13. And as long as you're under level 30, then you can teleport away. As long as you have a Dragonstone level teleport option. Jewelry. Because Amulet of Glory, that works. But, like, games necklaces, for example, that teleport doesn't work. Emerald Ring Enchanted, which brings you to the Castle Wars, or the Alcarid, doesn't work. All that stuff. So, obviously, you could see your history at the GE. You could right-click exchange. You could cancel orders. You could change the price. Click here to forward a little bit. Make sure it sells. Collect. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my review of Revenant Cave in Old School RuneScape. But obviously, my main goal here is not to play RuneScape. I want to play Gundam, okay? So I'm gonna log off. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna do a Revenant Cave stream while I wait for SD Gundam Battle Alliance to download. I figured an official Revenant Cave stream would be pretty good. I have my Bandos God Sword, my Bracelet of Ethereum charged up with Revenant Ether, Lightbearer Ring, Salve Amulet. Here are my current stats. I got a lot of Blooded Mana Rays. Let me drink my Super Combat Potion. Have some Blooded Mana Rays. I like to use, I'm training attack right now, which is this instead of strength. And it looks like I actually hit way more frequently and do just as much damage as when I'm training strength, which is very surprising because my strength is a much higher level, and obviously this combat stance trains attack and this combat stance trains strength, which essentially just leaves defense to train. I mean, I was also working on my hunter training by catching the red salamanders. I need to get that to 70 for Song of the Elves, and then I also need to get farming to 70 for Song of the Elves, which is going to be pretty difficult. So farming is over here. I think I should be able to get that done. Yeah, I mean, the last 6 levels, you gotta work for it for a bit. Yeah, I mean, did I even have a Revenant Cave stream? I'm not entirely sure. Normally the dragon's already done by now. But yeah, obviously the Lightbearer Ring, it makes you recharge your super attack a little bit faster. The Salve Amulet makes you do increased melee damage. They have a particular salve amulet that you could use for training ranged. You need to imbue it though. I think in the Nightmare Arena. Thankfully, a lot of people here are they're training. It looked like he had a magic bow. They're training ranged. But yeah, I'm making some progress on attack leveling. I needed like 330k EXP. I'm already at 296k. So it's pretty fast. The other night I actually got a... I don't know what drop it was. It was like a symbol of... not a symbol of power. It was one of the totem. Ancient totem. I got an ancient totem, which was worth 1 million gold. But I went outside and I switched worlds and I got PvP'd running back to level 30 wilderness, which I thought was pretty crazy. So right now the web weavers are super cheap. Check it out. So right now, here we go. So right now at the GE in old school RuneScape, you could buy a web weaver bow. So the web weaver bow, you could charge it up with Revenant Ether by right clicking. Look at this. What is this? Okay. So, so the web weaver bow, when you equip it, what's good about it is it does extra damage in the wilderness. So let me unequip it, right click and use my Revenant Ether to charge it up. You need about 1000 Ether just to reach minimum, and then any additional one is an extra arrow that you can use. So it's very good in the wilderness. I highly recommend it. You need about level 70 ranged for it, which takes about 30 to 40 hours of training by throwing steel knives at, for example, the bear over here up until level 30. And then obviously you could teleport over to East Ardoon, go to the zoo, and you could throw at the jokers over here. They have a little bit more health. In order to get to East Ardoon, you could either, as a member, run through White Wolf Mountain, or you can do Port Sarum to Port Khazard. So that's why I like the web weaver so much. Okay. Yeah, so right now I'm training with Divine Super Combat Potions. Thankfully, you don't need gold in your inventory to buy stuff anymore. So let me buy Blighted Super Restores. You could click the up sign there in order to increase the price that you're offering. So let's get some Blighted Super Restores. Draw some bass. And teleport over to the Revenant Cave. I tried reaching out to Jagex because there's so many people PvPing in here. I was like, can you guys please, can you make like another Revenant Cave? Because the game's so popular now. I saw they have like 190,000 active members. So it makes sense to leave every well, I'd say every one dragon. But sometimes after like 3 AM EST, I sit there and I'll do like 5-6 dragons without leaving. But it makes sense earlier on in the day to leave at a certain time. Looks like this person has a magic bow over here. It makes sense to leave a little bit earlier because essentially you'll get PvP'd. If you get PvP'd while in the Revenant Cave, obviously you have to pay the 100k gold to get back in. And if you initiate the PvP, then you chance all of your items because you get a skull over your head. And if you have a skull over your head when you lose in the wilderness, you chance all of your items no matter what. So one time I was actually chasing dudes with the dragon scimitar, and that was like a day before. And then I ran into the wilderness with my Bandos God Sword. Thankfully, nobody noticed because I could have got PvP'd so hard. But I didn't, thankfully. So I get PvP'd quite a bit. Yesterday, someone actually tried to PvP me with a Void Waker, and they were level 80. And I had, oh, here comes a PvPer right here. He's gonna go for me because I'm a higher level. See? Check it out. He's already attacking. Alright, so he used Entangle on me, which freezes me up for 10 seconds for that status over here. So I could switch over to Protect from Ranged while he shoots arrows at me. He's gonna go for a melee since I switched for that. I'll use Protect from that, and he's gonna switch back to Magic. So let's go over here, use Protect from Ranged, and go outside. So I'm gonna activate and attack him. So he's combat level 124, and I'm combat level 108.47. So I have no chance versus him whatsoever. But I could obviously hit him with a special attack or something of the like, and I would decrease his stats at least. So he defeated me. Thankfully my spawn point, let's go over here. So thankfully my spawn point is in the city of Korend, right over here, the Kingdom of Great Korend. So you could change your spawn point. For example, after you do Knight's Waves and defeat Sir Lancelot, you could set your spawn point to Camelot. You could also alternatively set your spawn point besides Korend after you do Architectural Alliance, which you'll never do, and you get 100 favor in all of the Korend favor, which is over here and over here. Once you get all 100%, which you'll never do, and do Architectural Alliance. And I think also Kingdom Divided, you could set your spawn point there. So you could also set your spawn point in the wilderness. I think around here. No, at the Furox Enclave. It's like right over here. It's like near the Soul Wars portal. I think I went out there and I got the Oculus Orb, which lets you custom, let's call it Oculus. Yeah, Oculus Orb over here. So you could scry with it. You could you get like a special viewer. So if you're like filming RuneScape videos, so yeah, you can move the camera with WSAD. So essentially you could like do like a RuneScape movie. So with WSAD, you could be like, welcome to my RuneScape 3 video. Here is the Kingdom of Great Korend. Look at the throne right there. So I'm gonna press F1 and toggle the panel. So it'll be cinematic. It'll be like, Korend was a capital city flooded by... You get the picture, right? It's like, the Kingdom of Great Korend had a wonderful leader who sat on a golden throne. He was the Golden Knight of old school RuneScape. He turned the Korend statue gold after the wolves left, and he fled to the battle arena. You know, like that kind of stuff. So let's press escape. Yeah, but doing a Revenant cave during the daytime just does not make sense, because you're gonna get PvP'd, and obviously I'm playing on RuneLite, because once you upgrade to connect your account to like the Jagex thing, the Jagex launcher, that's the default version of old school RuneScape. Maybe not if you play on Steam. I think if you play on Steam, you can still kind of have like the not RuneLite version. But the RuneLite version, it shows like value of stuff that you defeated, how much time is left for an ore to respawn, or a tree, or a resource. by your skill training. And yeah, I mean, it has take a picture thing up here, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna put my salve amulet on, and let me switch worlds here real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna head out to the Revenant cave. Let's try that again. I'm pretty sure I got that kite shield in. So yeah, being that I got defeated outside of the cave, it's a pretty good instance because I don't have to pay to get back in. I just lose the 50,000 gold bracelet of Ethereum, which obviously 43,000 gold, which obviously these people drop sometimes, or you could just buy them from the GE and you charge it up with the bracelet of Ethereum. So you take a little bit less damage. I charge it up with about 75 each time because I don't want to waste Revenant Ether, even though it's only 175 per Ether, but it's 175 times 75 for each go through. And I mean, that's kind of how it works. So obviously the super combat potions also cost a little bit of gold. Here I am already getting PvP'd again. Yeah, they're crazy here. This time they got me in the cave, I believe. So let's try to get some food in. Over to this. Switch over here. So yeah, they're already all about it. I got out of the cave this time. That was very, very aggressive. Obviously, like the community that they built. I don't want to say they're very all about it. It's not really harassing, but I mean, this is like the only way to really make gold. So, besides mining. And the fact that obviously the mage spells, they freeze you in space for like 10 seconds. It's kind of annoying because, like, what's the point of that? You can make more gold just fighting the dragons. So there's really no point to PvP. It's just annoying. If you die in the wilderness, you could also reclaim your stuff from Death over here. Death has a particular area. The normal spawn point is Lumbridge. But this one's much closer to the bank than Lumbridge, which is why it's so worthwhile to do. Because essentially, you lose, and you're right back to where you started. You have to pay 5 million gold to make the wilderness your spawn point, where I got my Oculus Orb. So, yeah, people are super aggressive in this game. And at 3 a.m. though, there's like nobody's on. So it's a nice kind of feeling because you just keep going in the cave, you loot out, and then you run out of the cave, and you're good. And you don't have to worry about getting harassed. Which is why they should add another Revenant Cave in this game, or introduce the Revenant Cave back to RuneScape 3 and just call it PvP. They're going all about it all wrong. Like they're just doing death matching in old school RuneScape, which already is a thing. And then on top of that, it's like RuneScape 3, they're like, so that Vorkath thing was a limited time event. So if you talk to the dragon within a Fort Foren 3, which you can no longer rebuild, essentially he says like, oh, we're not about that life anymore. And also I don't think you could rebuild. So I mean, at a certain point you're not really making gold. You're out here to, your special attack has to recharge anyway when you die, or when you run back to bring your loot to the bank, and it recharges a little bit faster with the light bearer ring. But yeah, I mean, you're not really out here to make gold, but it's nice if you do. Over time you basically do. Sometimes the drops are just terrible though, and essentially each of these are worth 5k. Essentially my main goal is to train attack. I made like 6,000 EXP in attack, so let's continue fighting dragons. Obviously using this prayer, which I got from doing the Knight's Waves. By defeating Sir Lancelot, it increases my defense, strength, and attack by 20%. This one increases your ranged attack by 20%, which is kind of nice. But it's a little bit expensive. You're getting juggled in between their PvP bots and all that kind of stuff. Because they made the web weaver so cheap that essentially anybody can train ranged and come out here and make a lot of gold. And then they could have like their friend do like the PvP build. It really makes no sense, the whole PvP thing. Because essentially you could just come out here and make gold and then play the game. Like, you make slightly a little bit more, but you're risking stuff too, going into the wilderness and PvPing people. You could actually get out of here using the Grand Tree nut or something. After you do the Grand Tree quest, you could throw it down and it teleports you into the Grand Tree even while you're getting PvP'd. But I really don't care. Like, the amount of effort like, withdrawing that extra item is not really worth it. Sometimes worlds with range is always nice. Like, as you get to a higher level, it's just weird how everyone always attacks you. Because at level 36 wilderness, I could only be attacked by people that are 36 levels under me, or 36 levels above me. So my combat level is... was, I think, 108, right? So... what is it? My combat level is, yeah, 108. So anyone right here, 34 levels underneath me, which is like 30 is 78, so 74. So anyone over 74 could attack me. So if I got this up a little bit more, maybe I wouldn't have to deal with a little bit of the more PvPs, because even at like low levels are good because the spells are like Entangle. It's just like, if you're not planning to PvP, then you're dead, plain and simple. And the drops from the enemies include Blighted Entangle Sacks, and this casts Entangle on people. So like, you just go to your spell book with this in your thing, and it casts Entangle on the person. So yeah, just having this stuff in here. And you could only teleport away at level 30 wilderness. So, alright, let's continue. Okay. So, super combat, looks like these dudes are PvPing over here. Yeah, sadly, like the entire summer, the Bandos Godsword was like 26 million, 27 million for a little bit. And I had sold it and bought Gilded Armor. And the Gilded Armor fell off like 10 million gold as well, after my web weavers had already fallen. I'm getting PvP'd again, dude. So you could run to the obelisk over here as well to try to get away if they don't have Entangle on you. So you could activate the obelisk and then click in the center, turn off auto retaliate, stand still, and it'll teleport you away. And if they're not on the obelisk, you got away. So let's go over to the Grand Exchange. So that introduces another element into it as well, depending on health and ability and skills. You know? Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I was training on... like, I was training on green dragons, but I feel like the Revenant dragons are way better to train on because they regenerate health And they have way more health. And you do way more damage to them too. Like the normal dragons, I'm sitting there, I'm doing like nothing. But these dragons, they hit diffy. It's not something I would normally say, but since I'm streaming in the Revenant Cave, like I'll say diffy stuff. Let's go to the 1250 skills. Maybe like there'll be less PvPers because they can't afford to get to this level of skill. Like I'm level 1407. Like maybe just over here. Another good thing about Rune Knight is you can see how much health they have left, like your current stats. Like the super combat potion, it increases all 3 of these. Unlike the divine super combat, or divine super, this is divine super combat, but that increases all of them. And then they have divine super strength, divine super attack, just to focus on specifically those. Alright, so he just dropped a lot of food this time. Go for another attack. Mostly just training attack out here. It takes quite a while. So this is 23 minutes of streaming, and that was like 8k of EXP. So you could kind of guess, and this is only 1/4 the level of my strength EXP. So you could kind of guess like how many. I've defeated 4,000 Revenant dragons in my lifetime. So yeah, that's basically how I train, like in old school RuneScape, you know. I think they actually adjusted the Bando